Hey people, it is Saturday, November the 16th. The time is 9:20 in the evening and it's around 6 degrees Celsius. But surprisingly, it doesn't feel very cold this evening. Maybe it's because there's not much wind. In any case, it's a lovely night to be walking around in the city, and I'm currently on Bloor Street East. I just came off of Ted Rogers Way, which is also Jarvis Street, a bit further to the south. And I'm going to make my way west here along Bloor. We'll take a walk through the Mink Mile, as they call it, on Bloor Street West. And I'm also going to head down part of Bay Street, heading south. And we'll check out some charming side streets in the area as well. It's just a great night to be out walking around in downtown. I'm not sure if the Mink Mile has installed their Christmas decor yet. I think it might be a bit early still, but we'll find out. And they haven't turned on the Christmas lighting here at the Manulife building. It'll be bathed in red and green LED lighting, maybe in another week or so. So I'm thinking I'll go along one side of Bloor Street heading west, and I'll sort of loop around via one of the side streets and come back east along Bloor Street along the other side. We'll take in some of the upscale shops along the Mink Mile. It's a luxury retail shopping area. And a couple of my favorite side streets, I think, are also planned for this walk. We're at Church Street. And it's looking south. So if you're familiar with downtown Toronto, you'll know this is the sort of very northern end of downtown. My last couple of videos were down in the southern part of downtown around the Sky Dome, where currently right now Taylor Swift is playing her third show here in Toronto. So we probably won't see too many Swifties in this walk. It's about a 45-minute walk away from here, I would say. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Taylor Swift herself did some shopping up in this area. Most celebrities, when they're in Toronto, do end up in this part of downtown, Bloor-Yorkville. Oftentimes they stay in this part of downtown also, in one of the luxury hotels. So we're making our way towards Yonge and Bloor. It's a bit quiet, I would say, actually, right now. Seems to be more traffic at the moment than people on the sidewalks. Oftentimes it's the other way around. Here's the W Hotel. I don't think this is quite a luxury hotel, but it's definitely a bit more upscale than your typical hotel. Yeah, they haven't turned on all the Christmas lighting along the street yet. See these trees here. They do have the green and red lighting at the base of the trees, though. It looks like the lighting is all ready to go on here. I'm not sure why they just don't turn it on now. It looks nice. Might as well keep it on as long as possible. A flagship Nike store coming soon here to the base of 1 Bloor East. There used to be a Nordstrom rack there, but Nordstrom pulled out of Canada. So all this retail space suddenly became available. And it's taken a while, but it's starting to fill up now. The Mink Mile doesn't really start until after we cross Yonge Street. All right, we're at Yonge. It's always neat to look straight south down Yonge Street.
Hey, we're coming, we're coming.
And there's a look up at the progress of 1 Bloor West, called the One, which will eventually surpass 300 meters in height. It's already surpassed its neighbor here, 1 Bloor East. And we start our walk through the Mink Mile. We have a new flagship Lululemon store. I think some of these stores are still open. Maybe they're just closing up for the evening, actually. She looks like she's cashing out. This is leased, so something new will be coming here.
Yeah, probably.
And that used to be an H&M, which isn't really a luxury retailer, but now it's a Fabricland, which is even more of an oddity here on the Mink Mile. But I think that whole block there is slated to be redeveloped with another new tower, including the Scotiabank. So that Fabricland might be just on a short-term lease. Although they're still trying to lease this space on the corner, but you can see the development notice right on the building there for the new tower, which will also be a super tall, over 300 meters in height, right next door to the one, blocking the views, the west-facing views of all the people who bought units in the one. I'm sure they're quite happy about that. Here's the Holt Renfrew department store. I think they have some Christmas windows here that are yet to be unveiled. They usually have a fairly nice display here. So I don't think the Hudson's Bay store down on Queen Street at Queen and Yonge will be doing the Christmas windows again this year due to the construction of the Ontario line. I said last year, I don't know why they don't just move the Christmas windows over onto the Yonge Street side of the building, which is free from the construction, and those windows are certainly big enough to take on the role. I don't think they're doing it though. Seems like a missed opportunity to me. Holt Renfrew. This is a Canadian luxury retailer. You can see a bit of a display here. That's pretty cute. Oh, it got stuck. No, it's going back the other way now. And these doors are opening and closing here. So hopefully the windows up there that I passed by will have more displays like this. The Italy. If I came about an hour earlier, most of these stores would still have been open, and there probably would have been a lot more people on the street, but oh well, I didn't really make it out earlier. I'm sure I'll come back on another night when all the Christmas lights are fully in effect and do another walk through the area when it's a bit more bustling. This is Bay Street, looking south. And I think Tiffany's is moving to this corner here with a new flagship. They already have a store further along. I think they're going to be moving into a brand new space. All right, I'm going to cross to the other side here. That's right, honk for longer. That'll definitely make things move along better.
What? Because there are people around
All right, now I am going to eventually make my way over here.
Why don't we your priorities are? I didn't check.
But let's walk along a bit more of the Mink Mile. We'll just look at this side of the street. So I think I'll eventually come back down the other way on the other side of the street. Here's St. Thomas Street, which is a lovely street I've walked through just recently in another video. So I'll take us over to Avenue Road, and then we'll cross and head along the other side of Bloor. Definitely some eye-catching window displays here. I've said it before, but even though this is one of my favorite streets to walk along, it's probably one of the last streets I would actually ever come to do some shopping. Not that there are many streets in the city at all that I really head to do shopping. It's just not really what I consider to be a good time. You notice they empty out these window displays after they close. Otherwise, chances are someone would smash that window and grab everything inside. Maybe at one time they could have left that stuff in there, but not anymore. This space is for lease. All right, we're just about at Avenue Road. An Urban Planet pop-up. This has had a number of different pop-ups come and go. It used to be a Club Monaco store, but when that left, it's never really had a permanent new store. Just temporary pop-ups ever since then. It's an awesome old building. It's part of the University of Toronto, but it does have this retail storefront here. And here we are at Queen's Park, looking south. Got the Royal Ontario Museum. And And the CN Tower. That's where all the Swifties are right now, at the base of the tower where the Sky Dome is. The ROM looking awesome.
She said a couple things that sound.
The historic Park Hyatt Hotel. The Bloor Street entrance to the Royal Ontario Museum is getting a big reno right now. And that's the Church of the Redeemer. That predates most of these buildings surrounding it by quite a few years.
Which is on that side of the street.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just next to the McDonald's.
Metro is on.
All right, so now we're going to walk east along the north side of Bloor here. We'll take a look at all the fancy stores on this side. I'll just go as far as Bay, and then we'll head south down Bay. And here's the current Tiffany's store. I don't know why they just hadn't decided to turn on these lights now. Why wait? For lease, there's been a lot of changeover along the Mink Mile. There's always been a lot of changeover, but just recently there's been quite a few places that have come and gone or relocated. New places moving in, replacing places that went away. This is not luxury by any means, but I think they're quite busy here at this location. I think this is a more recent addition here. Not a lot of eateries along the Mink Mile, really. It's mostly just apparel or jewelry.
Yes, sir.
And the old Yorkville Village is immediately north of here. You can walk through this walkway. It'll take you right over to Cumberland Street. I did a recent walk through there, if you're curious. That was the same walk where I walked along St. Thomas Street. This is the new Burberry location. It used to be a pottery barn. It was empty for many years until Burberry finally released this space. Going back even further in time, it was a movie theater. It's neat window displays, but not much in the way of Christmas type displays, really. There's St. Thomas Street again. Oh, well, just as I say that, here's a Christmas tree. It's not really a display, though. Yorkville Village does have its own sort of Christmas-themed festival. But that's still a little ways off, I think. Maybe by the end of the month. There's a look up into Yorkville along Bel Air Street. Harry Rosen. Looks like something is afoot here. And Roots, a long-standing Canadian retailer. We've got the Christmas tree thing going here in full tilt. We're back at the corner of Bay again. I don't know if I can avoid the scaffolding. It doesn't look like it without walking in the bike lane here. I try not to walk under the scaffolding. It sort of ruins the view, but this is a short one. Some of them are like a block long. All right, we're at Bay. Well, I guess I can't really make it across. Let's go to the other side then. Wonder what sort of presence the new Tiffany will have here on this corner. I have a feeling they're going to do something pretty extravagant. Down Bay. An extremely wide sidewalk here. There's a large Indigo store. It's a book retailer. Although they sell a lot more than just books these days. Bay Street Video across the street, sort of iconic in the area, as is Bay Bloor Radio right up ahead here. Manulife Center, it's a small indoor shopping mall at the base of the Manulife Center, which is a retail and residential complex, as well as an office tower over on Bloor. Here's the Bay Bloor Radio. It's like an electronics store, stereo store, as it used to be known as. Do people still buy stereos? Is that still a thing? Charles Street. That's looking back towards Yonge. And the Manulife Center is quite old now. It was once the tallest building in the Bloor-Yorkville part of downtown. But those days are long gone. It's been left in the dust by a bunch of much taller buildings in the last 10 plus years, including some that you've seen earlier in the video. So Bay Street here leads all the way down to Lake Ontario. It eventually will take you past City Hall and through the financial district. Most of the side streets along here are just lined with high-rise residential, as is most of this part of Bay Street. It's a bit of a condo canyon, as I like to call it. There are a few office towers also, such as right here. Once you get down to the financial district, though, it is pretty much solidly an office area. All right, now let's check out some of these side streets I was talking about. This is Irwin Avenue. Once we get a bit further east, it takes on a bit more of a charming personality. Some sort of low to mid-rise residential here. Some of it is historic. Old townhomes are historic low-rise apartment buildings. But you see the tall towers all around. And this takes us over to Yonge Street. Cottage Lane, lots of these little laneways sort of going behind or between the buildings. Sometimes there are things hidden away in there that are actually of interest also. And here we are at Yonge Street. It's looking north. Let's go down to the next side street and we'll go back over to Bay. Yonge Street is always fun to walk along, and I've done many video walking along Yonge Street day and night, including just recently I did a nighttime walk all the way along downtown Yonge. So I won't do that again right just now, but this is St. Joseph Street, this side street here. See more old historic townhomes here. Looks like this one is getting a reno. That's one of those strallies, as I like to call them. It's sort of like an alley, but it's also like a street. Put them together and you get strally. This is a pretty magnificent house here. Can't even read this sign any longer here as to what this building is called. It's a bit worn out. Soul Pizza, or is it Sol? And back to Bay Street. At the University of Toronto campus, just to the west of here. How long has this been here? Some places seem to pop up so suddenly. Especially more on Yonge Street, places just come and go within the space of a couple of months sometimes. And before they've even cleared out, another place is already in the process of moving in. Here is Wellesley Street. So I think I'll take us east again towards Yonge. There's a nice new park across the street. Maybe I'll take us into there. And I'll start wrapping up the walk. This is Dr. Lillian McGregor Park. It just opened a couple of years ago. So I hope you enjoyed the night walk. Not a late night exactly. When does late night start? Maybe it is late night if 9 o'clock is considered late. Where we took a walk starting on Bloor Street East. And we made our way west through the Mink Mile, up and down both sides of Bloor, checking out some of the luxury shops and seeing what's new. And then we made our way to Bay Street and headed south and checked out a couple of fairly charming little side streets to end up here at Dr. Lillian McGregor Park on Wellesley Street. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. I just saw a rat. And you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members and to all the rats here in the park. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.